Welcome to another segment of DSU's Inside Perspective, the show in which faculty, students, alumni, and guests come in to talk about things that are going on in the real world, as well as some of the wonderful things that take place right here at Delaware State University. Now, if you watch the show frequently, then you know that Carlos Holmes is the face of Inside Perspective, as well as DSU's historian. However, today we're flipping the script a little bit, as I, Morgan Poole, will be your guest host, interviewing Carlos about something he is intimately involved with in relation to DSU's history. Hello, Carlos. How are you today?
Hello. Thank you for subbing for me today.
Yes, no problem. I was just going to ask, how does it feel to go from interviewer to interviewee?
Well, I think with the interviewer I have, this show's in good hands today.
Oh, thank you so much. And with that, let's get started, shall we? All right, so homecoming is coming up next weekend, as we all know. So many people are excited, including myself, because we have the homecoming game, the coronation, etc. But there are a few events that some people don't know about, and you're here to talk about one of those. So what's going on?
Well, on Friday, October 26th at 3 p.m., we're going to be dedicating the Dr. Jerome H. Holland Memorial Statue. This is a statue that we've had an artist create, and we've installed it, and we'll be dedicating it that day. Dr. Holland was our 6th president.
Wow.
He was our president from 1953 to 1960, and he was our president that got us through a particularly troublesome period in the university's history.
So with it being a troubling time, how did he get us through it? What went on?
I should explain the troubling period. We lost our accreditation. In 1949, we lost our accreditation.
Wow.
And it put us in a really bad situation. Our enrollment went down. It had been up as high at that time as over 380 students, and it went down to about 130 students.
Wow.
There were clamoring in the state from the General Assembly and the public, and the leading newspaper, the News Journal, was calling for the closure of Delaware State College, as we were called back then. There was actually legislation introduced in the state legislature it called it to abolish Delaware State College. There was also some folks that were advocating that we be reduced to a junior college and merge with the University of Delaware, but the University of Delaware wasn't feeling that one. They wasn't ready to integrate that way. So Dr. Holland had a meeting. Actually, there's a picture back here of Dr. Holland and Governor J. Caleb Boggs, who became the governor in 1953. And he went to a dinner in Wilmington and met Dr. Holland, who was working for the Pew Foundation at the time, and he was very impressed by Dr. Holland. They had a long conversation, much of it about Delaware State College. Long story short, he got the Board of Trustees of Delaware State College to hire Dr. Holland. And Dr. Holland, he turned this ship around. He turned us from facing possible closure to facing prosperity. He did a number of things, and there was a very methodical way he went about that. First thing he did was he did a study. How did Delaware State College get in this position? And he did a study that went all the way back from the beginning in 1891 to the present time, looking specifically at things like the state's woefully inadequate level of financial support and its lack of involvement in helping us grow. And he basically told the governor and told the state in the report, if the state's going to keep on doing what it's doing, you should just go on and close us.
Wow. So
very bold statement.
Yeah.
But he continued, if the state is going to step up to its obligation and support the state institution of higher education, which it gave birth to, then it needs to do certain things. We need certain things, and we need the state's help. And he started clicking off the needs of the institution. And he had the Governor J. Caleb Boggs, behind him. He did some things that were very necessary. One of the first things he did in 1954, he fired the finance manager of our business office, because our business office was a mess. And he needed to get our bookkeeping, our accounting practices in order so we could inspire confidence with the General Assembly, because we were going to need money from them. And they wouldn't give us money if they thought our bookkeeping was a mess. So he got that. He got a guy by the name of H. Gordon Pinkett in, who was a very experienced finance guy, accounting guy. He got the office back in order again. He had the support of the governor. He got support from legislatures, and we got unprecedented appropriations from the state for constructions projects. And it resulted in the construction of Memorial Hall Gymnasium, Conwell Hall Men's Dormitory, the Grossley Hall Administration Building, an apartment building for faculty, and later some other faculty housing was constructed with that. That helped us deal with the infrastructure issue. He used his leadership ability to get us straightened out on a whole number of different levels. Our administrative structure was improved. He got the board, the state to pass legislation to change the composition of our Board of Trustees, to increase it to 11 members and remove this thing where the governor made all of the appointments. The governor made only 6 of the appointments with this new legislation that was enacted, and the board made 5 of the appointments. And that kind of took the politics, some of the politics out of Board of Trustee appointments. He established the first alumni office, which really, strengthened our relationship with our alumni. There were a lot of things that he did, but the bottom line, in 1957, we got our accreditation back. And from that point on, we haven't looked back since. Ever since then, each president that came after Dr. Holland left in 1960 to become president of Hampton Institute, which now we know as Hampton University. He was followed with Dr. Luna Michoud, the father of our current president, Dr. Wilma Michoud. And Dr. Michoud just built greatly on what Dr. Holland was able to accomplish. In fact, the transformation that took place under Dr. Michoud's time was unprecedented. And Dr. DeLauder followed after him. He built on Dr. Michoud and Dr. Holland's success, and it just went on and on. But none of that would have been possible if it hadn't been for Dr. Jerome Holland. Getting us through that period. At one point in time, we've had about 300 historically black colleges and universities in this country. Now we have less than 100. That meant about 200 of them didn't make it, or they got merged with another school, and some of them just didn't make it. We almost fell in that category if it wasn't for Dr. Jerome Holland. And a lot of credit needs to go to J. Caleb Boggs, too. And I'm very hopeful when we have this this ceremony on October 26th, we're going to have some of Dr. Holland's children here. They're not children anymore, but they'll be here. We're hopeful that his son, J. Caleb Boggs' son, will be here and to represent his father, of course, Governor Boggs, who later became U.S. Senator Boggs. He's deceased. But we hope that they'll be able to come out and represent, because these are important figures in our history.
Definitely. Yes. They made so many contributions, and with this in mind, everyone should be here for their dedication ceremony.
Right. I think that our history here is important. I think if you're a part of the DSU community, you should know a good deal about our history, because it's lessons in tenacity, it's lessons in perseverance. There are a lot of people that sacrificed a lot from the very beginning: Wesley Webb, William Jason, Richard Grossley, those presidents, faculty members like Harriet Williams and Richard Winder and U.S. Washington, students that have gone on to do great things. We should know this history, and I've been a very big proponent of that, and that's kind of how I've kind of gotten in the position as the foremost expert here at Delaware State on our history, because it is very important. It's important that we preserve that, and this is a way of preserving our history. And we're making a lot of alums happy, and because they felt a strong need that we needed to memorialize this man.
Yes, so with this in mind, everyone, please mark your calendars for October 26th at 3:00 p.m. Carlos, thank you so much for coming in today and sharing this wonderful information.
And thank you for subbing for me today.
No problem.
Good job.
Thank you, and thank you all for watching. Once again, I'm Morgan Poole, and this has been another episode of Inside Perspective. See you next time.